All right, YouTube. Um, Part two of the drive from recycling. I'm actually going to take us to Target. I am specifically choosing the Target route that I've put in here because interesting intersections. You know, I've had some. I may have to intervene because of navigation issues. We'll see. Um, that specifically comes down to I've had a few issues. Just they're doing construction in that area. Some things have changed up, uh, and it causes. I don't. I'm not even going to say it causes the Tesla to do poor navigation, but it does do some pretty poor navigation at times. Like for me to go to work, um, it actually wants me to pass my. I can make a left-hand turn into my office's parking garage and everything, and it legit wants me to pass it, go down the road, make a U-turn, come back, actually make a right at the intersection before where I work, do another kind of U-turn, and then pull in. It's like makes zero sense why it's navigating that way, but it does that and it hasn't been fixed this entire time. Similarly, the intersection right next to where the target is that we're trying to go to, um, has had some recent construction, so that might mess up this testing plan. But um, it's just an oddball. There's a lot going on in a very short window of time because you're you're interacting with traffic coming off the interstate. You're interacting with traffic, excuse me, coming by some side roads, and you're interacting with traffic uh, that's just like you know off of the main road, trying to do its normal shopping at the Home Depot and Target and everything that's down that way. Um, kind of looking at this just for a second because I'm hoping it didn't just change the route on me and decide to throw me on the interstate. I want it to stay on the side road, which is called Veterans Memorial Parkway. That has some intersections to it. It has it'll be a little bit more like city slash suburban driving than highway driving. Um, I don't find I don't find testing the highway driving itself unless you're in busy traffic areas. I don't find that kind of testing super useful or worth talking about. Nothing against some of the YouTubers that I've seen that do it. Um, it's just it's highway driving, right? It's almost every car, modern car, has some form of lane keep assist with uh, the adaptive cruise control, depending on the trim limits that you're in, etc. And they all do a fairly good job. So really, where the Tesla exceeds them would be the auto lane changes and uh, taking exits and stuff like that. But by and large, for many, many, many miles, um, there's nothing to report home about, right? You're just basically going down a lane and staying straight. So we're trying to create situations. I'm testing for the edge case scenario, if you will, that's not being caught. So yep, I'm gonna enter. I'm gonna interact with it there because it was gonna take us on the highway. Now, honestly, I probably should have left it because the navigation shows us staying on this road, but it was going to put me on the highway. So call that a fault in the car's decision making because at what point would it have shifted back over? I don't know. But that's where we get to that whole consistency issue. Like I've already said a few times, like it'll change lanes into a lane it doesn't need to be in for some reason. If it knows that we're going to stay on this side road, why was it putting me on the lane to get onto the interstate? I don't know. I can't. I can't speak to that. I don't know whether it's a navigation issue or not. So this will be interesting because this is construction. Yeah. So we're in the wrong lane. No cars were coming, so I let it correct itself there. But damn, like from my experience with past versions, like 12.3.6, it really seemed to do a much better job of picking up and interacting with the lane markings. Where this one seems to, I don't know. I'm not saying it understands the lane markings are there, but for some reason or another, it seems just hesitant. Like it's not sure how it wants to interact with it right away. That being said, it did correct itself and get back over, but not an ideal situation. For those of you watching, please feel free to comment in the videos about the audio quality. Um, I did start using a mic because if I just use the iPhone and its microphone, it just picks up road noise. It picks up every single bump. It picks up. Uh, it doesn't seem to filter things, and I actually think it makes it worse sometimes based on being in the holder than what it really like sounds like in person when you're sitting in the car. So I went ahead and hooked up a mic. I have like a lapel mic that I've had for a long time and used for a long time. So I've used that lapel mic, but I have noticed that it almost, I don't want to say it drowns me out, but it almost takes away too much of the road noise, too much of the environmental noise. And then what you do hear after looking at one of my videos, like when I hear it on my iPhone, it sounds fine, but when I listen to it on YouTube, um, sure enough, like whenever you hit a rough patch in the road, which this is Missouri, we got lots of rough roads, lots of rough patches. Anytime you hit those bumps or something, it just, I don't know, it creates a noise that I can see could be annoying, right? So I don't know if I need to maybe invest in a better mic or something, or maybe mic placement. So that's my ask. I'm messing with the mic placement currently in hopes of seeing whether that'll help in some way, shape, or form, rather than having it on my shirt, possibly having it bounce around and rub up and down on my shirt and hear weird noises that way. So here's where I was saying the navigation issues could be. Yeah, I don't think it knows where to go. We'll see. Yeah, I'm going to take over. Sorry, guys. I think that's a nav issue, but I also think that's an issue here. This is a roundabout that's not currently on the nav, and so the car looks like it's so dependent on the nav that it wouldn't be able to handle that. It would have no idea where it's going and treated that completely incorrectly. So now we're through that new roundabout construction. See, now it's supposed to turn right here. Yeah, I know. You completely screwed that up. What the hell? Like, again, is that a nav issue? I mean, I can't really fault the car. Other than the fact that, again, going back to the whole idea of full self-driving, like, and my concept here for all these videos is just the experience. If I'm in a taxi, if I'm in a Robotaxi, like this can't be what happens, right? Like, if it's so dependent on the navigation data that it doesn't know how to adjust. I mean, and that's why I kind of took it through there. I just wanted to see how it was handling it. Like, it wasn't even slowing down very well, in my opinion, for the roundabout that was there. Like, it didn't even recognize that it was entering a roundabout, to the best of my knowledge. And I'm not looking to plow my Tesla into the center of a roundabout and find out that way. So some of you might be like, hey, just let it do its thing and see what it does. But I mean, these are busy roads with people on them, and my life is important, and so is theirs. So, you know, at some point you just got to call it and say, okay, we'll retest that later. You know, something along those lines. But so, but that was the test that I wanted to see is could it figure out what to do, how would it handle itself. Navigation data obviously is super important to any vehicle. So what happens when the navigation is uh, not accurate? And I needed to switch it over because a car was coming and it was kind of turning too much into the left lane and not the right. In all fairness, that could have just been the car taking a different angle than I would have taken. But again, I'm the passenger in the car. If a Robotaxi made that turn at that angle with a car coming at me at 50 miles an hour, uh, I'm not going to be a super comfortable passenger. That's why I injected into this. So a little slow here. It is getting us to where we need to go. We are going to the shopping center now. So it did reroute. Um, so if we kind of, all right, I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas. It's being so slow and we're holding up traffic. So it got us there. Um, I'll let you guys decide like what's right and what's wrong in terms of the navigation. Because I really do believe that's a navigation issue, right? Like if the map was updated to reflect the roundabout, it might have done a better job of choosing the lane. It actually did technically get me into the right lane for going uh, where we needed to go, and I think the most efficient way. But here, I'm going to go ahead and kill it here. But it didn't know how to interact with the roundabout without the navigation data, and that's my concern. So it's like, okay, it kind of ended up in the right place. I kind of feel like that was more luck than anything else. But let's say it's not luck. That roundabout was not designed to be taken at like 45 miles an hour, which I I had to take control, so I don't know what the speed was. We'll have to do a playback on the camera and see what that actually was. But it definitely felt like it was going to be more than way too fast for that roundabout. So I'm going to cancel this one here. We'll see if we can select the new location. Um, Maybe one more idea, and we'll call it a night. So thanks for going for a ride, and I'll see you on the next one.